All right, hello, my junior level students. I'm going to go over what we're doing this week. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so here we are, class homepage. If you click modules in the side navigation and scroll down, you'll see that you have a few new lessons available to you in a brand new module. And so this module will be focusing on some of the history related to the drop of atomic weapons on Japan in World War II. And so we will be developing our skills in being able to interpret a text, make meaning of it, and use evidence from the text to support our interpretation of that text. So we'll be looking at multiple perspectives of individuals from this time. And the essential questions that we'll be asking ourselves is, what are we noticing when we read? How can we consider multiple perspectives in a text and or a variety of different texts? And then how can we apply what we've learned to our own lives, our own current lives? And some learning goals we will achieve will be able to make meaning and connections within and across text. We'll be able to express the implications of ideas and information in a text, and we'll be able to integrate relevant evidence from text to support our interpretations of that text. So if you're wondering what our content area standards are, okay, this is stuff I'm teaching you, okay? These are the Common Core State standards, and these are little descriptions of them. You can also see the English language development standards if you're learning English as a second language, and then there are also some other standards that we will be touching on, just not super in-depth. Okay. Page 2 of the module covers a glossary. Okay, some of the text we'll be reading has some difficult language in it, so I put some important vocabulary terms up here in this list along with some examples. Okay, some academic language that you guys are already familiar with. I'm sure of it. And then if the word you're looking for is not in that list, you can find it right here. Here's just a Cliff's Notes collection of challenging terms that appear in Hiroshima. All right, so for our first lesson, we're going to be focusing a lot on the foundational history of this time period. And so World War II was quite large. Everyone was affected by it. I mean, that's why they called it a world war. But for this unit, we're going to be focusing specifically on the Japanese and Japanese American perspectives of what happened between Hiroshima and then also here in the United States in our Japanese internment camps. Okay, and so we will be touching on some heavy topics. Okay, it will be tough to talk about some of the lessons this week. They'll be tough to see, but as long as we remember to march forward with a mature perspective, we'll be all right. So for our first history lesson, I'm not going to spend too much time here because I recorded my lecture down here. Okay, the slides presentation I have for you right here, there's a lot of pictures without captions, so I think it would be best if you do listen to the lecture. You can find that YouTube video right there. And then on the next page, you'll see another history lesson, only this is an article. And this article is titled The Decision to Drop the Atomic Bomb. And you are going to read and annotate this article and then answer the question at the bottom. I want you to describe the relationship between the United States and Japan around the time of World War II. So, the article will discuss, what happened a little bit before, a little bit what happened during and after. And I want you to answer this question right here. Do you think the United States was justified in using atomic weapons to end the war? And so you'll write your responses here. I'm looking for just a short paragraph, no less than 4 sentences. Okay. Now, this activity, this slides presentation has us looking at how we make interpretations of images, of pictures. And, we could just go through a little bit of right now. We'll be looking at this painting right here, this wood block painting. This is titled The Great Wave of Kanagawa by Katsushika Hosakai. from who lived from 1760 to 1849. And so this is a picture that we're probably pretty familiar with. Okay, we've seen it used in advertisements. Okay, we see it as emojis. It decorates our clothing. People tattoo it to their bodies. Okay, here's a wave full of blue jeans. An advertisement for Levi's. I mean, and all sorts of stuff. And it's pretty popular. And so what you'll do is you'll thumb through the slides presentation, and it'll have you evaluate, you know, every small detail of this painting and question, you know, what's going on. And if you walk through these questions, these are questions that you need to ask yourself, not only when you're looking at artwork, but when you're also interpreting text or poetry, or in our class, graphic novels. So just walk through that slides presentation, and then if you go to the next page, you'll see an activity to go along with it. Okay. If you open up this document, okay, it lists 3 themes, 3 possible interpretations you can make from looking at the painting. And, you know, interpretation A, nature is unpredictable, it'll do what it does, and we know we are helpless against it when it strikes. You can go along with interpretation B, what seems like a disastrous situation to some is not as dramatic to others. Or you can go along with interpretation C, those who stay calm and fight bravely in the face of struggles will prevail to the end. So whichever one rings true to you, when you look at the painting, whatever theme best describes that painting in your eyes, okay, I want you to just go ahead and highlight it. And then find me 3 details from the painting. Find me 3 examples from the painting, what you see, what you interpret. You'll list those 3 there, and then down here at the bottom, kind of like a CER, a basic CER paragraph, you will tell me, you know, how this evidence, how these details from the painting support your claim, your interpretation of the text. It's a basic CER, okay? When you're done with that, I want you to read this comic. This comic will help you learn how to read comics if you're not familiar with the art style. If you're not familiar with that form of literature, this will show you how we can read and take in stories through sequences. All right, and then down here, I want you guys to watch these 2 videos too. They give us more information on how to interpret graphic narratives, which we'll be reading in this class and looking at on the next page. And this is it right here. George Takei's They Called Us Enemy. And so this is a story about a young boy who is forced to live in a Japanese internment camp here on American soil. And he's a citizen and had his freedom taken away from him, he and his family. And so just scroll through here and read the text, and we are going to talk about it next week. So be ready to have a class discussion. Let's do it. All right, well, that's it. That's it for what we're doing this week, and I know it's quite a lot, especially considering how we won't be able to spend so much time together on Zoom. So, of course, if as you're working on this you have any questions, please reach out to me, send me an email, and I'll help you as soon as I can. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.